job. I mean, I get to design cool stuff. I do make money with it. People buy it. But I do get videos and pictures and happy parents and kids having those moments with bats. At some point, we have to come out with the next iteration of it, but it's just going to look a little better. And I said better because I'm excited about the update to the graphics to where it's going to make it even better than it is, but it's not. You're going to recognize it right off. What is a brat? I'm from Texas. I don't even know. Like, I heard that term before, but I'm from Texas, and it is nachos are like.
Talk to us. I do want to touch on this before we get towards the end here. You all released the Bonesaber for USA Baseball. What was it like meeting those standards? I mean, you had obviously had a BB bat. BB Core and USA are pretty similar in a lot of what they do, but U-Trip is obviously way hotter. What was it like getting a bat into USA?
Yeah, we waited. We were probably the last of, like, say you've got all the metal bat companies that are even considered maybe mainstream. We were the last to do it. We wanted to let that, USA bat standard was all new. We wanted to let that settle. We had a lot of learning to do in the BB Core space, and we knew that learning from BB Core would inform us in there. We also just waited until, if you really look at early USA bats, I mean, the barrels are this big, unreal. The standard is, it's the toughest standard to create a bat that a kid actually holds and goes, yeah, I want to hit with that. It was very good at going, I don't even see where I would hit with this. Like, there's no barrel. So that really,
because it's got to be a drop 10 or a drop 11, and it's got to be lightweight, and then it can't
long,
hit.
Skinny handles with like a barrel that goes whoop, and it's just there's nothing, and it just didn't.
It's like a mallet.
Yeah, it didn't look fun to hit. It didn't even look like a baseball bat yet. So I think there was just, again, patience is, Warriors mentality is always patience, even though when you don't want to have it. So for us, it was like, let's wait and develop until we feel like we have that bat that kids look at and really are excited to hit. That was the big knock on USA at first, was this is going to make kids not want to hit anymore, which I kind of understand the thinking. So we just had patience with it. And I think because we waited when we first launched the Bonesaber one piece in USA, and it did tremendously well. So just like BB Core, the two piece followed up, and now I think they're ranked 1 and 3. And it's tremendous, and it's so cool to be working with kids that young, and
they can get you excited. I mean,
think about it, man. I have the best job. I mean, I get to design cool stuff. I do make money with it. People buy it, but I do get videos and pictures and happy parents and kids having those moments with bats that I've experienced. I hit a triple. I hit a homer. I won the game today. I struck out 3 times, but like, that's pretty cool. Like, that's a cool thing. Like, these really get used, and they really are real experiences that our kids are having, And so honestly, the younger kids, they're still playing with that love and joy of just playing to play. It's not so,
they remind you of it too.
Yeah. They would remind you when, the fun part of baseball is being out there and competing against kids that, we want to beat each other. We're having rivals and things like that. But so much of baseball is so geared towards only showcasing. It's like, I'm only playing now to showcase for who's going to pick me up at the next level. And then I'm only playing there for who's going to pick me up at the next level. And we miss the entire experience of baseball. That I had a great experience as a kid, because I'm old enough that I didn't have to really deal with that. And then I got to play college baseball. So like, I can look back at being 12 years old and, man, I could name 60 guys I played against. Most kids can't even come close to that these days, because tournament environment and stuff dictates that there's no, you're playing against someone different every weekend. And do the games mean something? I mean, you can always say they think that they do, but I miss leagues. I miss leagues where you got to try to win the league, and if you don't win the league or get second, you get to go home. And you cry about it, because baseball is over. That's when a game matters, So I think that people are starting to figure out that that kind of does matter, and that that's what I love about like high school baseball. Like seeing my kids play high school baseball and back in that again. I'm like, man, if we don't win this game, we're not getting in the playoffs. Well, that's fun. That's what makes it fun to watch. And people, these high school kids, when they're in that moment, they're not worried about who's watching them and showcasing. They are worried about them and their boys winning, And
Yeah.
that's
They're classmates.
So,
I mean, these are kids you've grown up with.
I mean, I'm a nerd. I'll go watch my kids I have a ninth grader. He's not up on varsity yet because he's too young. And then I have kids that are off. So I don't even have kids that are playing right this second. I go watch the high school game because it's fun baseball to watch.
Yeah. And it's good baseball.
Oh,
I mean, at the high school level, you get good baseball.
Oh, for sure.
Now before we take off here, I want to talk about the future of Warstic because I know the future is exciting. I mean, it's one of your lines on your logo there. So I know you're thinking about it too. So what do you have in store in the near future? And then, just what do you have in store in the near future for Warstic? What can we expect in the next year or so?
To keep baseball steadily growing like it has been, and to do it by trying to outdo the bat that you have in your hands. I mean, it's simple as that. I mean, what else am I going to do? You try to improve upon what you do and build on it. And we know more now than I did 6 years ago. So now we're going to take that knowledge and I'm going to try to make that not the number one bat. And
so what are you going to do with this? How are you going to? How do you?
Well,
that's my question.
I will tell you.
How do you make the number one bat better?
I don't think that you actually change that bat. Like I will not change that bat because I mean, that would be dumb. I mean, when you have the number one bat and it's not just been 2 months, I think we're getting close to a year. So, and that's incredible. And so are we going to update at some point we have to come out with the next iteration of it, but it's just going to look a little better. And I said better because I'm excited about the update to the graphics to where it's going to make it even better than it is, but it's not, you're going to recognize it right off. We've got a new grip. We've got new grips, but like technology wise, I'd be really stupid to change the number one bat into something else. I'm talking about, what's coming in the next 2 to 3 years. I mean, you have to think these things out years in advance.
Yeah.
So that's the hard work of being in baseball and why, it's not just a super fun thing all the time. It's like, it's stressful, so seeing what else we can do. I think we'll start making bats that are a little bit more specialized too for like, I've got some ideas for bats that aren't going to be for 80% of the hitters, but there's a 10% I think they could do. I like the variety and the different fields. So we'll do that. And then girls softball is hugely important to us. We have so many girls who have brothers who have been asking us for years to be into fast pitch softball. So the Bonesaber is in softball now and it's actually doing really well. So it's kind of step one. And then building on that. And then the challenges, I mean, we're getting into lots of other sports as well and getting very serious about that behind the scenes. But it's like, I'm only willing to do that if we keep focus on baseball and softball. Because they're just different things. That means that internally, there's just going to be different teams working on different things, not the one team trying to do all things, but just having fun with it, man. Like it's a brand that's fun to share in other sports because the mentality is there still. I mean, pickleball, tennis, it doesn't matter. I mean, any sport, mentality plays. The attributes of what a warrior is play. So it's applying that in new sports is fun and creative and hopefully fruitful as well. So for some reason, I have the personality that just wants to go do that and have fun with it, So, but I don't want anyone to think that we would be abandoning. I mean, it is a little, when you come out with something like pickleball, it can look like you're losing focus on baseball. And I'm like, I promise I'm not. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you're baseball first. I mean, you're through and through. Your boys are playing baseball. You played baseball.
Yeah, it's my sport. Other than fly fishing, I admittedly love fly fishing more. So yes, I make fly rods and I'm going to have fun with that as well. But baseball first. And we built this on baseball. rightly so, and we're always going to respect that. So
That's fantastic. Well, speaking of fun, I've got a little game that we always play with our guests before we leave. It's a game called Turn 2.
Turn 2.
And all it is turn 2. So I will list 2 things and you just tell me your choice of the 2.
Okay.
So to get started here, it's the question I always ask. Fenway or Wrigley?
Do I give explanations as to why my answers?
You can do whatever you want. There are no rules to it other than you have to pick one.
I went to grad school in Chicago and lived on Sheffield Avenue, 2 blocks from Wrigley. So I would say Wrigley because I used to get to walk to games and it was incredible. But I did go watch Ian play in Fenway and it's badass. So objectively, I'd have to say Fenway.
Fenway?
Yeah, but I have a heart. I mean,
I lived in Wrigley.
I lived in Wrigleyville, but Fenway just they both feel like going back in time, but Fenway is something insanely cool. I can't even put my finger on it. So if I could only go to one place, I'd go to Fenway.
Okay.
And I love Brock Holt. I just love Brock Holt.
Brock Holt. I could see how he would speak to you.
I love Brock Holt.
Designing a pickleball paddle or a baseball bat.
Baseball bat's way more challenging. So I would pick a baseball bat every day. Plus, I'm more informed about it. You know, I'm not a pickleball person per se, so I'd have to go baseball bat.
Okay, you go 1 for 4 with a home run, or 4 for 4 with 4 singles.
Singles. I mean, I just want to win. Like I think that's the problem with so much of a mentality is that we're so focused on the homer that we don't focus on. Yeah. I see it all the time in high school games. I can see the intent. I can see that I'm like, hey, I know what you need. You got to shoot, hit a ball 100. I don't care. Just let's get a hit and win right here and not pop up. I'm a little old school. It's more fun to win. I mean, I promise at the end of the game,
it's way more fun. Your stat sheet looks a lot better if you've got a bunch of wins next to you too. Stats don't really matter at that point. Okay, nachos or brat?
What is a brat? I'm from Texas. I don't
bratwurst?
I don't even know. Like I heard that term before, but I'm from Texas. And it is nachos are like
I've eaten a brat in Texas. I've eaten a brat at a restaurant in Austin.
Okay, nachos are my favorite. Nachos are my favorite thing in the world. In fact, I've got an idea for a restaurant that's only nachos that someday I'll do.
Oh yeah, count me in. I'll invest whatever amount of money I can because nachos are where I fall too. Is it like, are you putting like meat on top of them too? Or are you talking like ballpark?
I mean, if you want the whole, like, it's called Nacho Solo, and it's like all these different. It's reinventing what nachos are. You've got your traditional, but it goes way crazy over here. It's a long story, but it is a stupid idea that I've had for.
I don't think it's stupid at all. I've in a road trip with my wife, we sat in the car and she was like, "What would you do for a restaurant?" And I said, "You sit down and you get the chips for free, but then you pay for the condiments."
Basically.
So it's kind of like a build your own. There, but it sounds like you've gone.
I'm a big nacho. I like the nacho prepared intently on its own thing. But I'll eat nachos in any form.
Okay. And
I don't know what a bratwurst is. I really don't. I think it's some kind of sausage wiener.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's really good. You should try it sometime. Okay. Would you rather go to the woods or the beach?
Okay. I would go to. I do if I'm not doing this job or watching my kids play sports or hanging out. I surf and I go fly fishing in the mountains. So my ideal thing is that there are places where you can have a beach with woods and mountains coming down, like Big Sur, California. So I can't answer the question. My ideal thing would be both. But I'd have to pick fly fishing.
There's one rule to the game of turn 2, and you have to pick one. So right now, in this moment, would you rather be in the woods or at the beach?
It's like asking my ninth grader to pick between football and baseball. I would probably go. I'd have to give fly fishing the edge over surfing slightly. I slightly love it more. So I would go. I just got to be in the water, rivers. I'll go mountains.
Okay.
Oh, but it hurts. Oh.
Fair enough. Randy Johnson or Pedro Martinez?
Man, I like Randy Johnson. That's easy. I mean, I'm just gonna go warrior. They're both, but I mean, Randy's like so stoic, and that guy's a cool photographer. He's got other
Yeah,
interests.
he is.
And I love a baseball
Yeah,
player at that level that's got other interests. I think that's really cool how he goes out and he's in nondescript. He's not even Randy Johnson. He's just out photographing games. It's so low key cool. I like that.
it is. It is. Okay, would you rather hit for the cycle or turn an unassisted triple play?
Oh, hit for the cycle all day. I'm not a
Yeah,
big fan of the triple play. I'm like, who cares? It's just luck.
yeah, yeah. Especially unassisted. Like someone's got to run into
What I
that.
miss, what made me think, what I miss in baseball so much though, from my generation and even Ian, is that they took out the slide rule at second base, where we don't have shortstops and second basemen flying through the air over the runner. I can't stand that that's
Yeah,
not in baseball anymore. I'm just making my political statement now. I
it was
miss
such
that
an
play.
athletic play.
It's so
It was such
beautiful.
a
As a kid, I loved practicing that play, and it takes skill and it takes practice, and it's so beautiful when executed. And it's like, it's crazy to me that kids don't even see that anymore. It's strange. Like, and Ian hates it. Ian's like,
yeah. And I saw it. Was it Brandon
mm-hmm.
Nemo?
Yeah.
Like got mad at Reese Hoskins for like just sliding through the bag, and I was like, but that looked like the most
I'm
baseball
like,
play I've seen all year.
yeah, it almost looked like baseball. Almost.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty gnarly to go back, and it was a play even when someone wasn't really trying to hurt you.
yeah,
It was just part of breaking. It was called breaking up a double play. It was just part
yeah.
of the game, and
You
it
were trying to
wasn't
save an out for your team.
absolutely. And so,
Yeah.
oh man, it's just such a cool thing they took out of baseball, and I think it's going too far.
What about bulldogging a catcher?
A harder. I mean, I've run over catchers in my life. I've won that battle. I've lost that battle. I do love that play. I Two of my kids were catchers, and so I understand being on that end. And I'm like, one of them was also a middle linebacker, so he liked to. He's
He'd be
like,
okay
bring it
with it.
on. Yeah, he's like, bring it
Yeah.
on. I think that I miss it too. I just think I understand sports shouldn't be too dangerous, but like part of why we play is that it's a little dangerous. You know,
Yeah.
getting hurt is a part of it. So, I mean, I'm not a big fan of it. There's times it was. I mean, back in my day, it was easy to tell when you were is a good hard baseball play versus you're really trying to hurt that guy. It wasn't that hard to tell the difference. And now I feel like kids are getting hurt because you see these kids now. Sometimes they come in and it's so awkward what they're supposed to do. Their mind can't make up their mind, so they're like they're here, they're like here, and then they're gonna slide, and then they don't, and then they break their leg because it's so awkward. So I'm like, I think actually you can make a case for running over a catcher in a proper way is a safe play. And catchers used to know how to take that too. They used to
Uh-huh.
know how to take that, come off their feet, get back up and walk off, and everybody's fine with each other, and it's just baseball. But I mean, I sound so old timey now, but
No,
I mean,
it's part of it. It's
I
the
just,
baseball that I grew up with.
yeah, it is. I mean, it was, there, you have good guys and bad guys. It's like the Hall of Fame. I'm like, no one watches a movie that's full of only good guys. That would be a really
Yeah.
boring movie.
Yeah.
We need everything in life needs kind of both, and so
Yeah.
you just decide which one you are, and so like sometimes the rules are like trying to make everybody good guys and like guys is getting boring. Um, but no one's trying to hurt anybody. I think. I mean, in general, as a general statement.
Yeah.
So I miss
Yeah.
all that about baseball, especially the second base play for sure.
Ben, who was the best player you ever played with or against?
Oh, that's easy. When I was a rookie for the Phillies, my roommate was Jimmy Rollins,
No way.
which dates me greatly. But yeah, I was out of college, he was out of high school, and it was kind of like, hey, I need this older guy to. They literally told me, they said, we need you to be a big brother to this guy, and so just easily, in terms of the guys I played with, it had to be him. And the cool thing is that he was one of those guys that was so nice, and you wanted to see him. I never thought he would achieve what he did, in MVP,
Yeah.
but he's a really good guy and really
That's awesome.
actually pretty humble and all that. So that was cool to see. And then all kinds of players in college that were really great players, but that one's easy in terms of like that guy.
And for when you were playing in the minors, did you play in the infield or the outfield?
I played everywhere, and that's the only
Okay.
reason I
Did you
got to do
turn a
it.
double play with Jimmy then?
Oh yeah, I would play a
Oh,
lot of. In fact, his rookie year, I would play a lot of second. He would play short,
oh,
and if he made too many errors, they would flip us to piss him off. And then when he played good again, I would have to go back to second.
That's fantastic.
His upside was apparently bigger than mine. So
Yeah,
I was more of a pawn in the game this, but yeah, for sure. No, I 100% turned double plays with him and probably also messed some up. So
it sounds like he was messing some up.
Well, he was an 18-year-old kid out of high school, and I kind of played everywhere. I didn't even play infield in high school. I played center field, and then by the time I got to Mississippi State, I was playing shortstop. That doesn't happen. Like you don't do it. You do the other way.
It goes the other way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I had a really strange path, and so I was still really raw in college, and then it worked out for pro ball because I could play anywhere on the field. I played pro ball. I didn't pitch. I didn't play catcher. Didn't play first, but I played everywhere else. I could play anywhere. I could play anywhere in a really good mediocre fashion. But you could stick me anywhere, and so that was kind of my value. So, but yeah,
Ben, we're at the very end here, but
you've said that like 4 times.
I know, but this has been really interesting. I've really enjoyed this, and I also didn't know that you roomed with Jimmy Rollins. So
yeah,
you've got like a really fascinating life that you've built there. And I've loved this interview. Give everyone like a quick 15 seconds on Warstic and what they can expect from you guys going forward.
I think just more of the same. It's constant evolving who we are and what we are, but staying true to ourselves. I mean, we know what we're about, but there's always a progression to it, just like a player. I mean, you call that like instead of having a fixed mindset that I am this is what I am, this is as good as I'm gonna get. You have a growth mindset. That's the best way to be a good player, is that you're constantly learning. So for us, we just don't try to define too much what the future looks like, other than do we feel like it's something we're passionate about, and is it playing upon what we've learned, So we're not going to change who we are, but it's always going to evolve, be a little bit more. I mean, it's just a constant process. So we're not going to.
Thank you so much.
So
thank you guys. Thank you for staying true to who you are. Thank you for coming on the show. Thanks for providing all this insight and knowledge and a little bit of what your life has been, because I've really enjoyed this, and I'd love to again, maybe sometime in the fall, reconnect and chat again.
I'm always up to take an hour off work. You just let me know.
Love it.
All right, man.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Ben. We appreciate it. And anyone out there, make sure to check out Warstic and check out everything they're doing, because they're making bats with a purpose, and we love to hear that. And we love to be a partner with them, and we love that we get to sell their bats. So check those out at JustBats. And thank you again for coming on today, Ben.